Move.
I got the I got the I got the I got the World Cup 2026.
What's going on there, bro? What's going on there?
We're live, bro.
No. Are we live?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Bro, what is going on? Hold on. This is crazy. I know, bro. Hold on. Hold on a sec.
Technical difficulties. People in the chat, what are you saying? Though? Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, though, if you guys are tuning in.
You know what it is? I need to log out of this quickly, but it's saying end. And I can't end this. Hold on. I want to remove.
But anyways, people, whilst Don sorts out himself, what are you guys saying? It's been a very, 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 very long time since we've seen you guys on the stream. Obviously, as you guys know, K-Pass Prosa, awful done in the building. Haven't been live since the end of the season. Obviously, me personally, I know Don goes live all the time. So it feels quite refreshing to be here talking to you people. Obviously, a lot of stuff is happening, a lot of things to talk about, a lot of football going on. But before we get into the show, before we know the proceedings, make sure you guys are hitting the like button. I think there's quite a lot of people in the show right now. See, Don's just trying to sort out his microphone and camera. So make sure you guys hit the like button nice and early. Let's get to 10 likes on both streams and let me know who's here. Obviously, shout out Tyrone in the building. Can see you in the stream. And yeah, man, it's crazy. Trossard going to Besitkas, Arsenal basically losing their starting left winger when you think about it from last season. So we definitely got to make some business. Obviously, the World Cup is bubbling up, getting hijacked on a deal that maybe we kind of saved ourselves some money on. So a lot to talk about, man. But Don, are you here with us?
How, bro? World Cup intro started. I was looking for. Listen. If there's gonna be a mess up on the intro, big up to everyone in the building, man. But listen, apologies for that little mess up. But you know what is what is. This is live streaming, people. And we're back.
There's no do-overs.
There's nothing, man. But yeah, we're gonna get into quite a bit of stuff as well. Make sure you smash the likes. Remember, Cape and Don show every week. World Cup has been crazy as well. But we're gonna get into some discussions and stuff like that. So let's start off with the main point, I suppose. Arsenal yet to make any real signings right now. We've seen a lot, and the thing is, you know, Arsenal fans, we're voyeurs, like Wenger said, yeah, because we're always looking at what the other teams are doing. But the other teams, they can do what they want at the end of the day. They can spend as much money as they want. They can make the market look stupid as much as they want, yeah? Arsenal are going to be Arsenal, and they're going to value a player at what they feel they value. The valuation is of that player as well. And traditionally, Arsenal have always been like that. Obviously, we've got Declan Rice, 100 mil, worth every penny. But I don't think at this stage, whilst the World Cup is ongoing, that Arsenal fans, because I'm talking to you mainly, that you really need to panic, because what would happen if, for example, we put down 80 million on a player in the World Cup, they break their leg in a game? what happens then? Fans are going to be saying, well, why did we buy that player? Why did he playing during the World Cup? So you have to kind of put that into contention as well, not just have that, well, why aren't we buying this player? Why aren't we buying that player? After the World Cup, this is when I expect my expectation is to start to see a bit of movement. 130 for Elliot Anderson is mad, or 116 for him is mad. Yeah, he ain't had 2 seasons of greatness. Um, but yeah, I was going to ask you the same question. What do you think of like us not making mad moves right now?
Obviously, bro. Obviously, shout out everyone in the chat. Obviously, you know me, bro. I'm always one of the to air calmness in it. Not like I haven't messaged you. You haven't really seen my videos going losing my head, and that's not even because I always want to be that kind of person. It's just because I think from the minute I saw Elliot Anderson getting bought for that money, I knew that, like, and obviously now seeing what Spurs are splurging on the teams, and you have to always remember that most of these teams will have to do business in it because they're playing catch up in some kind of sorts to, to Arsenal at the end of the day. You know, Spurs obviously finishing 17th back-to-back seasons have to do a lot of things. So, and if they're overdue these kind of signings, obviously City's kind of breaking the market. But like you're saying, there's a World Cup going on right now. So shout out Tyrone. Um, Shout out DD Jens, man. Obviously, my
Big up,
boy.
man. Always there. Always
Obviously,
there.
like I think I'm just calm. Like I think, as you said, then Arsenal historically have always been like where they value wherever they value a player is what they value a player. They won't overpay or underpay. Maybe there's been a few times we've overpaid for certain players, but we don't historically do that. And especially during the season of World Cup, as you said, like it's difficult to negotiate deals to maybe the way you want to. Obviously, the market always moves, and right now there's a high, it's a high value market because that's what it's towards the end of the window. Where it always moves because when players have to move and teams have to get deals done, sometimes it depends on your style. I think obviously because we're Premier League champions now, and obviously because of what Josh Kroenke was saying at the end of the season after the Palace game and in other interviews, obviously everyone was expecting Arsenal to just go out and move mad. But clubs have their style. City and Chelsea are clubs that kind of spend money and spend money big. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But like you were just making the example about if you was to buy a player for like 80 million or so and they was to break their leg, a club like Man City or Chelsea would buy a replacement within this window if that was to happen. Arsenal wouldn't. Like if we bought that player 80 million, that's what we have. We're gonna have to ride them injured. There's gonna be another player that's gonna have to fill in the gap, and that's the kind of difference. And I think, yeah, it's upsetting because we wanna have that excitement of a transfer window where you're just seeing your club move mad, splashing the cash and just doing all that stuff. But like at the end of the day, doing what we have done has got us to a Premier League title, it's got us close to the Champions League. Like clearly the club knows what they're doing, and obviously we're in a good space. We're an attractive club, a London club. We're Premier League champions right now. We've got a good team, and seeing. I think maybe up until maybe yesterday, obviously there was a lot of frustration, but then seeing obviously the Trossard deal agreed, which obviously if you think about the season, Trossard has basically been our starting left winger. Obviously, we knew that we're going to probably upgrade in that position, but obviously making a sell and agreeing a deal for the player that was starting that position means that you're gonna have to replace him in some type of way. So I think then we'll probably start to see some moves. And obviously, yeah, the World Cup is coming to its latter stages, last 16. Quarterfinals will be soon. By the time you know it, by next week, it will be almost over. And then I'm pretty sure we'll start seeing a lot of the transfer window ramp up. So I think a lot of patience is required, and sometimes that's difficult because obviously we want to have that excitement of a new shiny toy right now, or you don't want to lose out on potential targets that you want, like your number ones. But I think at the same time, you don't want to be getting bamboozled in the market because if you pay, it only takes one transfer window for you to mess up and overpay for a player once that wasn't worth that value. And then from the future windows, teams will start demanding mad money from you for deals, and they start taxing you, and you have to kind of go that way. So that's just where I'm at, man.
Yeah, man. You mentioned a player going out as well. So I think we need to talk about that one player that's gone out. That will be on his way to Turkey. It's not just about that the ins; it's about the outs as well. Trossard, 20 million euros, 18 plus 2 million euros, going to Besitkas. and that's finalised now. There was talk of us, and I think you mentioned it as well at some point during last season that Trossard's legs are gone, and we need a new winger to come in, to play on that side of the pitch. I wasn't too sure who would go. What your take was, whether you keep one of them or whether you keep both of them and bring someone else in. I wasn't too sure about that, but that is now a vacant spot now for a left winger now. Speak on Trossard, what he's contributed in the 2-3 years he's been at Arsenal. I think he's been at Arsenal since 2023. And how you think the value of selling him and stuff like that as well. Did we get the right money for him?
Yeah, but I'll speak on that, the second part first. I think the value, because funny enough, obviously, all season I was talking about his legs going, but I think he's been not arguably, I think he's been Belgium's best player this World Cup for sure. Yeah. He's been very good this World Cup. He looks very, very good, and obviously, not just saying being very good, and that's not me even glazing him because he's our player and because he's going. I think he's been good, and I think 17.1 million. I think that's what it converts to for a player that we signed for 21 million 3 years ago. 31 years old on higher wages. You're kind of breaking even. I have no real complaints about the deal, considering how bad Arsenal sell. Obviously, he only had 1 year left on his contract as well. So for a guy that was aging, that potentially could have physically declined or could have been walking for free, Arsenal kind of breaking even for a guy that's come in, giving us about 71 GA in his 3 years. A lot of clutch moments, a lot of clutch goals. Being one of our most creative players. Been very, very reliable. Yes, there's moments where he frustrates because he gets in and out of games. Yes, he had a low this season, but then obviously when you come and see some of the personal issues he was going with, outside of football, you kind of factor those things in. It kind of makes you understand. At the end of the day, he's been one guy that you can say is reliable, whether he starts or he comes off the bench. I think he comes in, he gives us a certain expectation of a security technically. Left foot, right foot, goals in clutch moments. Like he technically scored the goal that won us the Premier League against West Ham. Like he got the assist as well in that Champions League final. Like he always has moments. He's always had moments. I think in that running in 23-24, I think he scored in like 7 or 8 games in the last 7 games. He scored in every single game. Like he's one of those guys. And I think for somebody that we in that 22-23 January window, we're going for Mudryk. Obviously, thank God we didn't get him. Obviously, afterwards, but obviously we're going for Mudryk. Trossard wasn't the first choice, and obviously he was looked at as our plan B. And obviously, kind of in the theme of obviously we're talking about the transfer window, where obviously people are kind of frustrated that Arsenal aren't going to get that flashy name, and maybe we might end up getting a second in line or third choice. Sometimes you never know if that player becomes the gem that you need, because Trossard was that, and I think. How long was he at that club for? 3 years, basically. He kind of done his job. Was a reliable player, both on the bench, off the bench. He basically was our starting left winger this season. Scored when it matters. He helped us win our first Premier League trophy, and I think cult hero is probably the best word to put him in. I think legend can go there, but obviously we can argue that on another day. But cult hero for sure, one of those players that brought his own kind of swagger to the team, brought his own kind of his own kind of sauce, obviously celebration. That when he was left out, will come on with a bit of attitude and stuff. I like all these kind of things, and he backs himself. And I think he leaves with his head going high. Like obviously, as you're saying, he's going to different pastures now. Turkey, I think, is good for players when they get older. I know their income tax rules are a bit different to here, so they probably give him some good wages as well. I think I saw like 9 million annually, so he's probably gonna. He's still at a good level as well. So I'm pretty sure he's joining a good team of players at Besitkas as well. Turkish league is a good league, very competitive. He'll still be playing in Europe. So, it's good. And I think I appreciate him a lot. Like, for me, he wasn't the flashy name that we got, but I think he was a guy that done the job. And he had a lot of tech, had a lot of moments where he put man on the floor. Pedro Porro and other players where he broke man's limbs, you should say, innit? So shout out to Trossard, man. I call him Leandino because sometimes he moves like a Dino. But obviously, Yeah, man. I think it opens a good conversation to what we do in that left wing position. But I'll let you obviously have a word or two on the man himself, and obviously, what do you think about the value that we got from him?
Yeah, remember his wages. Yeah, remember he was on some big wages.
Yeah.
Towards the end of, I think but they bumped up to about 180 wages. So everything, when you tally everything up, his wages, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're not gonna get 40 because I think we paid 20 something,
You
25,
paid
20
21 million, I think.
No, we paid more than that for him.
I think it was 21 million and then like
6
4 or 5 millions in add-ons in it. So probably
Oh,
those add-ons have been paid for, but
5. Yeah. So it's not a mad deal. He's like 31 now.
1 year left on his deal. Like,
Yeah, it's like some people just want the world, bro. Sometimes, man, it's just for what he's given us as well. He's not a naturally left winger. You know, he plays on like the half space, like a false 9 or just in that 10 type of position as well. He's given us quite a lot, man. I know, you know, he had his off period, you know, in the second half of the season, but you know what he has given us throughout the years is those clutch moments, as you mentioned as well before as well. And I think wherever he goes, he's gonna give any team something different. He's not the paciest, but what he has, yeah, he has good ball control. He's got a shot on him. Remember that goal against Sunderland? I think it was the goal of the season.
yeah, that was my favorite goal of the season. Still.
Beautiful goal, and he has his clutch moments. So, you know, obviously, man looks tired all the time with them bags on his eyes and that. But you know what? A celebration. You know what I mean? That's always going to be remembered. And you know what? He won us. You know what? He contributed to winning us that Premier League. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, all the best to Trossard, and he ain't gonna be paying no tax in Turkey. Yeah, so he's nice. He's
Yeah,
nice.
man.
Obviously,
Good deal for him still.
yeah, and obviously the off-field issues as well. Do you know what I mean? It's a nice new um, new era for him. Do you know what I mean?
And
To
Turkey's
go
a
out,
nice country as well, still. Like,
he's gonna love it over there, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Weather's nice, food's nice.
and if you think about it, he's been in the UK for a long time, but Brighton for like 4 or
Yeah,
5 years, England,
yeah,
Arsenal for 3 4 years. Like he's
yeah,
been basically in London and in this side of town for a long time. Like it's
yeah.
probably a new change for him is probably what he wants. So
Definitely. Hey, what's Quadra breaking here, man? He says Jose Jimenez, 29, has signed for Arsenal, leaving his role as a fitness coach at Bayern Leverkusen. Jimenez was the youngest fitness coach as a Champions League club season. Don't know
yeah,
too much about him, but
shout
that's
out
I'm sure that's going to
Guardians,
be positive.
Bajal, and shout out obviously Hamid as well. Obviously, yeah, I saw this as well. I saw that report yesterday about obviously, you know, Arsenal have been kind of refreshing, or Arteta have been refreshing the backroom staff,
Yeah, yeah,
everything.
yeah. The
Obviously,
doctor went
which
in it.
makes sense. Obviously, sometimes good. So,
That doctor
Pete,
went in it. The doctor.
the doctor, a lot of people have gone still. A lot of the coaching staff has gone behind closed doors and some of the things, and they're refreshing it. So that's good. But
Definitely.
who's left? Who's going to be the? What do you think for left wing, man? What do you obviously? There's links to Barcola, links to Morgan Rogers. Obviously, the reports all summer has been saying that Morgan Rogers is the first choice. Obviously, Barcola is an alternative. Of things have been said. Obviously, there's that Zolis guy that we saw the reports
Oh
from
yeah,
a
yeah,
couple
yeah.
of
The
weeks
Greek guy.
ago.
Yeah,
That you know, what do you think? What do you think Arsenal do here? Obviously,
There's
Martinelli's still the question. Do you think Arsenal does he stay? Obviously, I always said a bit before the season that naturally, I don't see Arsenal selling both of those in one summer because that means you're getting a full new left wing position in a season where maybe potentially Saka's going to need some rest. Obviously, you don't know what Havertz's fitness situation is saying as well. Obviously, new front line, obviously, but obviously Martinelli, there's still a player in there. He's still young as well, 24.
yeah.
There's value beyond this year or next year, obviously, and obviously, if anything, next summer is still another question for him. But what do you think Arsenal do, and who do you want? Like, let me say that.
Okay, right. People, get your questions in the chat. Doesn't I'm not going to ignore them. I'm going to come back to them because there's some very important questions there as well. But I don't want to spoil it right now because we're on topic. So I'm not going to just change up the topic. So Quadra, we're going to get to that. Don't worry about that. That's start. So left wing options. Who do I want? Firstly, so I don't mind. I don't mind one of three, and I'll give you the unrealistic ones as well. Barcola, Vinicius, Morgan Rogers. Those are the three. For me, I'll take any one of those three right now. The one I would take the most obviously is Vinicius. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then maybe Rogers, then Barcola. Um, I like them players, man. I like them players. And there's not many great left wingers in the game at this moment. There's not many of them that you can say, yeah. You know what I mean? Even watching Barcola like the other day as well, yeah, I can see why people don't rate him as much, as highly. You know what I mean? He has moments, but I can see why people don't rate him as much. And to be honest, yeah, it's the name for me, innit? It's more the name and him coming from PSG why I probably rate him a bit more. Obviously, he's got a lot of pace. He's quite good on the ball. But there's other things in his game that I'm not too sure about. Morgan Rogers, for me, he's not a winger, but he can play in that inside left, like a Eze. Do you understand, yeah? Like that skillful 10, strong. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Vinicius would just be ideal for us, but that's 150, bro. That's going to be a lot of P. That's breaking records and stuff like that. And there's probably more players out there who I've not thought about. That Tassolis, there's probably some more that I've not even thought about. And there might be some players that these men are looking at and thinking, well, I've never heard of him. You know what I mean? Maybe some Peruvian or some crazy type wingers, and I don't know, but out of those three, I suppose the more realistic one is probably Rogers. But Villa are asking some crazy P for him. 130s. Crazy P.
Which is why, like, I think we have probably the right sporting director for this type of move. And obviously, we're in a good position, isn't it? And obviously, before I even get to that point, obviously, I like your list. I think my list is probably similar. Obviously, the Vinny question one is realistic. There's a question of if that's realistic
Yeah.
because obviously I know he has a year left on his deal, and there's talks about him not wanting to sign a new deal. So what happens there? But I'm pretty sure Madrid will never want to let him go, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to say he wants to leave Madrid. So maybe there's a question of money or role or whatever. But if that was a deal that could be done, I would want Arsenal. I think as a player, you break the bank for you go up and beyond your transfer budget or transfer history or whatever it is like to go get him. But obviously, I don't know if that's realistic. Obviously, other outside of Barcola and Rodgers, if I speak on them, other kind of targets I would like if those were like too overpriced. Obviously, I wouldn't mind a Leao. I wouldn't mind a Rashford. I say that those two players in terms of like a different type of option that come in. They have their question mark is more about their consistency on a game to game basis rather than their actual talent or their ability. That both of them can really strike a ball. Both of them can take on a man. Both of them are really fast players. Both of them have their own type of personality and confidence. But at the same time, it's about consistency at this level. If we're going to bring in a new player, especially if we're losing a player like Trossard, who was very consistent. Obviously, I think Rodgers will probably be number one over me, especially the fact that Trossard's going, because I think, as you're saying, innit, the Barcola, I really like Barcola. I think he's a better player than Martinelli, but they're both similar type of players. They're both, touchline wingers who probably preferably like a little bit more space to kind of go in behind and utilize that kind of space, make good runs off the ball, can finish probably well. Martinelli probably finishes a bit better than Barcola, funny enough. But Barcola probably is a more technically sound player to an extent. And obviously his dribbling is probably way better than Martinelli's. But I think we have that profile already. And a player that, and when you see Martinelli playing for Brazil, you used as a 10 or number 8, and he looks good. Like, it's not like he's just playing there being some road runner like a Conor Gallagher. Like, he's getting the ball and half turn, switching it, receiving it in the pockets. And I was like, obviously I know he's a good player, but it's like it always makes you just think like maybe sometimes it's just, I don't know, environments, maybe it's systems, maybe styles. I don't know. Maybe he's been misprofiled. Maybe Martinelli actually he is a fast player that can be used on the touchline, but maybe he is just better in the interior spaces, because that goal that he scored is a goal that we saw in 22-23 a lot of the time. Xhaka to Martinelli inside or something. Little finesse, and he's reliable there. Yeah, he misses chances, but I felt like he's not a player that gets the ball and goes past 3-4 guys and then cuts in and shoots. I want him to be, but he doesn't do that. He's probably a guy that you feed in those spaces and good controls in tight areas, and he can finish. But anyways, digressing from Martinelli, I think Rogers makes more sense because he naturally brings that kind of interior profile that maybe Trossard leaves, but he's a bit more, way more physical. Obviously, younger player, you know, has different traits, can carry the ball, you know, in terms of ball carrying and carrying through the middle and through players and tight spaces, probably better than anyone in our team and different to how anyone that we've had can be used as a 10 and a left winger. And maybe that is another thing because you know that will bring a question. Maybe is who gets used left wing? Is it Eze that gets shifted more to be that left wing, but kind of interior position, or is it Rogers? And Rogers is the left wing, or Rogers is the 10 and Eze is the left winger. It brings that question, but it brings a bit of flexibility because Mikel can use both, especially in game as well. Both of them can interchange position. It brings that kind of question, and I think Rogers is a good player. He got that, you know, ball striking, free kicks outside the box, you know, scoring goals from
Mad
low XG, and you know, in moments that I think where against Paraguay we saw Barcola struggle maybe against the low block because obviously there's not that much space, but Rogers can thrive against those kind of situations because he can probably shoot from outside the box and has the power to kind of drive through 1-2 players and draw fouls and stuff, and has the power to kind of ride challenges. Obviously, as you said, the price that Villa are saying 130 million or so, because obviously rightfully so for them. He has about 5 or 6 years on his deal still, only 23 years old, England international. They say they feel like he's better than Elliot Anderson, and obviously if Forest are demanding that kind of money and City are paying that money, then yeah, they're well within their right to want to put that price tag. The question becomes, obviously, which is why obviously I said maybe Arsenal in the right position, is are Arsenal willing to pay that money? If Rodgers really wants to go to Arsenal and he's given the indication to Arsenal that I want to go, he's telling Villa, and obviously maybe he's not gonna, he doesn't need to get all nasty and all toxic. He can just be like, fam, I've served my purpose, 2-3 years there. I know we're in Champions League, but I really want to go to this club. Please don't make it difficult for me to go. Obviously, as Villa still have to make sales. Obviously, I know they're still those teams. They're one of those teams that are in and around that kind of PSR and FFP type of line every single year, and you don't want a disgruntled player. At the end of the day, I think Arsenal coming in will probably bid a viable amount, but 130 million is crazy. I think we'll probably wait it out, and that's why Arsenal are moving for an alternative like Barcola.
I'll tell you right now, for free, we're not paying that. We're not paying one.
Yeah, we're 100% not paying that. That's why I think Arsenal will wait it out and not get teams like Tottenham, where Newcastle saying obviously fair enough they put 100 million price tag on Tonali. Tottenham were willing to pay it, but I'm pretty sure maybe Tottenham will be threatened maybe by the other teams that maybe would have gone in for Tonali, like a United, maybe like an Arsenal, like a City. Maybe that's why they went and paid very early. Same thing with Fernandes, because I think for both of those players, if you wait a bit longer, you can probably get them for a bit more of an affordable price, because they're players that want to go and the clubs have to sell. But every club is different. And if in the end Villa play hardball, I'm pretty sure Arsenal will try and move for Barcola. Will probably have alternatives there that they would want to move for. So I think Arsenal have the driving seat because they're the team that have that. Now that we have the opening, obviously I guess teams will know Arsenal want to pay, but Arsenal also know that now for Rodgers it's like, we've sold a player that was in the starting position. You come in and you're probably the star, so it makes him now more. It puts that pressure more on Villa and him, because he might be demanding the move more, and Villa can't be trying to price him out the move. So we'll see how that space moves, because I don't think Arsenal would have sanctioned the Trossard deal without knowing there's some type of movement in that position for whoever they want to get. That's going to be happening very soon, innit? Because preseason starts in a couple of weeks, so we'll be paying attention to it, obviously. But I think whoever Arsenal do sign, probably a bit like you, I don't want them to be rushed into or overpriced or think that they need to pay a premium price for a player. Like, you pay what you think is the value of that player. That's rightfully so.
I've got a quote from Josh Kroenke. I'm hoping this is a quote from him, but on the 29th of June, Josh Kroenke said, "We've given the manager and the sporting department the resources they need. Now it's about making the right decisions in the market. We have full confidence in the work they're doing. We've backed them financially, and we believe that they'll identify and bring in the right players for this football club. Success isn't just about spending money, it's about spending it wisely. We trust the process, we trust the people leading it, and we're excited about what this team can achieve. Our ambition remains the same, to compete for and win the biggest trophies. That's Josh quote.
Sounds like Josh too, and
Yeah,
that's recent, right? 29th of June. So
recently, 29th of June.
yeah, like as I said, in Arsenal historically, we've always, obviously, you know, and you'll know way more than me, obviously being supporting this club longer than me. Like we don't, we're not like other clubs. We're not like Chelsea. We're not like a Man United. We're not like a City that spend a lot of money and continue spending a lot of money and continue spending a lot of money. Like we pay the value for prices, sometimes it's inconvenienced us in previous years when we were suffering. But I think even more so when you're at the top is where you got to, and when obviously we saw Arsenal's finances, you know, the best of all time. I think third richest club in Europe, richest club in England right now, or revenues or whatever it is. Cool, that's all good, but you got to make sure that you maintain that. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where in a couple of years' time you can't spend in the transfer window, you can't continue going up because you've said, and obviously Arsenal still have to sell as well, which is a main thing. And I think you don't want to get hoodwinked in the transfer window. Like that's the main thing. Like you want to make sure that the teams know, like, oh, like we know how to maneuver in the transfer window. Players will want to come to us, and we pay the right price. We're not gonna overpay for a price, and so if it means walking away from certain deals, like the Monga deal, obviously that we did walk away from, that we can transition to, then we got to. Obviously, that's
What's
a
your
bit
thought on
different
that?
because that's
What's your opinion on that?
just quickly on that. I think obviously as I spoke about it about many videos, I think he's an excellent player. I think he would have come in, been one of those guys like a diamond that is on the fence for first team, that, you know, has that kind of wild card factor in terms of how he plays, that brings something different. And he's young, obviously he's third youngest debutant in the Premier League. He's a very good player, played about 27 games in Championship, but he's 16 years of age. His team, Leicester, got relegated to League One. They wasn't in any.
Leicester in League One now.
Yeah, they're in League One now, if I'm very correct. Someone quote
Premier
definitely.
League champions, yeah.
Yes, they wasn't in a driving seat position. Obviously, Arsenal, I think apparently bid 6 million. Obviously, probably thought the deal was done, wanted to take it to the tribunal, knowing that they probably wouldn't be a mad price. And City came in like City do, and found overpaid 12.5 million plus 2.5 million add-ons and a 20% sell-on clause for him. And apparently he's on a mad wage, apparently like 50k or something. Like,
Who?
fam, if they came in, yeah,
Already?
that's what City gave him, innit? Like, so if obviously don't get me wrong, he probably will go out to be a very, very good player. Like he will be. I'm not going to deny that. But again, he's not worth that much money. And if City are willing to pay that, and Arsenal felt like, right, we're not paying that, then fam, walk away from the deal. Don't, like, unless we already have a talent. Obviously, shout out
Yeah,
Catch
shout
to
out
catch up.
Cash, brother. What you saying,
What you
G?
saying?
Hope you're well, my bro. Long
Nothing,
time,
man,
man.
my
Long
good.
time. I see you.
We already,
Huh?
we're gone.
No. I see the man doing their thing in it, but I've been on the
Yeah,
World Cup team, man. So it is
I'm
what
just
it is. But
I'm
big
just
up
always at
Cash,
work.
big up SB,
Appreciate the
each and every time, man.
redirect, my boys. Obviously, end of the day, like Arsenal don't need to be overpaying for a player that, like, he isn't better than Downham. We already got one of those 16-year-old mad world talents that already is there. Like, obviously, it's a deal we would have liked to do, but obviously we don't. We're not going to be getting hoodwinked, because if Arsenal are willing to pay that kind of money for a 16-year-old, then when it comes to Morgan Rogers, Villa are going to be saying, hey, you just paid 15 million there enough for a player that, you know, just finished his GCSEs. What do you think we're going to be getting for Rogers? And what can you say then? You can't be saying, oh no, we're only going to be paying 90 million. Like, these are the things you have to be consistent in. So I'm very confident about it. It is what it is.
Definitely. I'm not really even going to talk on it too much, bro. But what I want to say is centre midfield position. We're looking at Gomeres. There's been talk about Gomeres, maybe a 60 million bid. I think there was a previous bid, but that thing's looking serious, and I think that deal will pick up momentum after the World Cup. Bro, if there's any player I want to come to Arsenal right now, it's Bruno G. I just think him in that centre mid, bro. And it's not about him being a goal scorer or him just, it's what he brings to that centre midfield position. And you've been hit, we touch on Rice and Saka and all that a bit later in the show. But Bruno G in this Arsenal team shows that we're not just looking at anyone, we're looking at quality and also bargains for quality. So you, man, go and spend 100 and whatever M's on this player and that player, yeah? We're going to bring in Premier League players ready. Yeah. And I think this move will work. Yeah. Do you think Bruno G will be an Arsenal player come the 1st of September?
That's a tough question. I hope so. I think the I think it's likely. I think obviously with all the reports coming out, especially there's one Newcastle Chronicle reporter saying that apparently 65 million might do the job in it. But
But they
I'm
lost
not.
Tonali though, innit?
That's where my question becomes. And obviously the question is about if they lost Tonali. Obviously, they're not going to want to sell a lot. But obviously at the same time, he's been there for about 4 or 5 years. He's 28, going to be 29. I think in about October. You
Mm.
know, Newcastle don't have any European football. I think there was a report last year that I saw something that got retweeted about something about Newcastle that had like a gentleman's agreement about like if they didn't make Champions League this year, that they can let Bruno go for in and around this kind of 60, 65 million pound price. And obviously he only has 2 years left on his deal. So there's that question of obviously he's their captain, so he's not gonna make it a toxic thing like the way maybe Isak did last season. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna probably want to do their due diligence, obviously. And if Arsenal are the team that want to get him or the team that he wants to go to, then I'm pretty sure, like you said, it will be probably done after the World Cup, and we'll probably see a bit more moves when it's necessary. But I think I would love it. I think it's likely to happen. Obviously, I don't know if it happens, but if it does happen, I think it'll be perfect. As you said, like he has all the intangibles of a midfielder. Obviously, you want a leader, very good technical player, can play six, can play in the eight, very comfortable in the pockets. As we saw, that assist for that goal for Martinelli was created by Bruno G. Hopefully, something we'll see next season. But him,
Mm.
having that patience, and at the end of the day, he's the kind of player that we should have signed when we lost Granit Xhaka, that kind of LCM type of player that you bring in that can kind of, operate in that position. But I think bringing him in will definitely upgrade our midfield. Obviously, he will complement a Rice playing with a Rice complement, as you were Mendy complement a Lewis Kelly. And with Rice's fitness issues, as you said, as we'll touch on later, you want to bring in a tried and tested player that can still bring in that combative side of the game that Bruno G defo can, but also bring that quality on the ball. And obviously, his is a bit different to Rice's because he's a bit more technical with his play. So yeah, man,
Something
no,
to dream about, innit?
I'm all with it, and I don't think it will be a expensive deal to do. I think
Mm.
obviously the question is of whether other teams will come in. United are looking for a midfielder, but I'm pretty sure Arsenal have that. As I said, we're an attractive club to come to right now, so I don't think Arsenal are going to be, feeling not saying feeling pressured not to do deals, but I think they will know if they're speaking to players and players have given that their word that they would want to join, that they will trust that let us do the work with the club and don't go and
Yeah, yeah,
agree with
yeah,
another deal with another club. So I want him, man. He's a class player still.
yeah.
Class
So
player.
moving on, yeah, because obviously, yeah, Bruno G, I think we both agree on him. But someone raised a very valid point. Odegaard to Galatasaray. Reports that Odegaard's move to Turkey is on possibly. I hope he goes to Odegaard. Fanboys walk with him and they will be crybabies. Don't want to really focus on that second part because he is now a Premier League winner with Arsenal. What do you think about this deal? Do you think it's going to happen? And literally your thoughts, and then you can come back to me with the same questions.
It obviously would be a good deal for Odegaard. Still going to a good team. If it was to happen, I don't know if it's going to happen. Because I don't know if Arsenal are going to lose Odegaard this summer specifically.
How long's he got his
Because
deal? 2 years?
he's still got another 2 years. But I think also, like Arsenal don't have a lot of experience in the team that they're going to probably lose, and it's the captain. So I think unless Galatasaray come to bid very, very good money for Odegaard, which it would have to take that kind of money. That's that they're talking 70, 80 million. I don't know if that he'll be moving. We have to also remember that that's our captain, Premier League champions of Norway's captain, still playing very well at the World Cup right now. 3 assists, like he's a good player. Like it's
Yeah.
not like, and I think another thing as well, Arsenal don't want to lose because you lose certain with Odegaard, you lose one of your best pressers, you lose one of your best passes, and I think the problem is I think as well with the injuries of Saka and Rice and Saliba, some of that main core and the leadership group and the main players that played in our team. If we're going to be missing those players at the start of the season, You don't want to be going into the start of the Premier League season with basically a fresh team and a lot of new players into the team and lacking some of your leaders. And if your Odegaard just gets sold, or you don't have a Saka, Rice, and Odegaard, and a Saka, Rice, and Saliba to start the season, it brings a lot of questions, a lot of pressure on those new players, or some of the newer old players to kind of step up in their absence, which I guess it needs to happen. But got to think about these things, innit? So I'm intrigued. What about you? What's your answer to the question? Would you Odegaard to go like Tasha? What do you think? Do you think it will happen? And yeah.
So it's so hard to it's so hard. That question is so hard because there's no smoke without fire in it. And if there's a possible deal that can be done, then maybe. Because you have to put into context now, Odegaard's what, 28, gonna be 29 probably, I don't know, later this year or maybe next year. He's a Premier League winner now. He's a Premier League winner. The question is, does he want to stay and win more with Arsenal? Probably yes. Have Arsenal moved on? That's the question mark. Does he bring something different to the team? Of course he does. Of course he does. But is it enough that he brings to the team? Because his position right now, if we bring in a Bruno, I don't know if we're going to need that type of player in our squad. We've already got Rice, Zubi, Skelly, potentially Bruno. I don't know if Wanieri is going to be sold. It's a big question mark on whether we keep him or not. I won't be sad if we sold him, just put it that way. I'm not saying I don't rate him. I think he's a very, 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 very good player. But there's been times where we've been able to cope with him, and there's been times where he's come into the team. Obviously, you remember the last few games, the West Ham, where you got that assist for Trossard. There are good things about his game. There are very good things about his game. He's tidy, you know what I mean? He can hold the ball up. It's a difficult one for me. I'm not going to go with everyone and Odegaard needs to go and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Maybe as a bench, maybe as a squad player, I think he would do well, you know what I mean, at Arsenal. Because as you said, at the World Cup, he's cooking right now, but he's playing with Haaland, and you're going to cook playing with Haaland up top. It's a difficult one for me, man. It's very difficult to answer that one. As you said, he brings in the experience, but who is not going to play if Odegaard stays? That's my question. Because we can't have everything. We can't have Odegaard and the likes of Wanieri staying and the likes of Dalman coming into the team. Something has to give, bro. Do you know what I mean? And these are the questions, that I think Arsenal fans need to ask themselves. Listen, there's loads of people that love Odegaard out there, you know what I mean, and wouldn't even. There's loads of loads of fans that love Odegaard and wouldn't even think twice about selling him. But there's also those fans that also that wouldn't bat an eyelid to losing him as well. So I think there's a little bit of a thing between both fans.
There's a discourse, but I think it's just dependent on, as I said, Arsenal are at that stage now where players like Odegaard, it's just dependent on if it's not just about Arsenal to sell them, it's about what value are we going to get for them. Like if a team is bidding 40 million for Odegaard, Arsenal shouldn't just be selling Odegaard just because they want to get rid of him. That's not a value. Like when you're seeing the market, other players in other teams going for mad
prices. He's
on
big wages though as well, though. That's the problem.
Which is the truth. But a lot of these other players in Premier League clubs on bit. Someone like Anthony Gordon, I'm pretty sure he was on big wages at Newcastle. He goes to Barcelona, big price. Obviously, different age, different type of player. But I'm pretty sure the point I'm making is that is Arsenal got to make moves. Whether that's for whether Ranieri gets sold or Odegaard gets sold or whoever gets sold, Martinelli, the price that gets that gets bought from them should got reflect the value, which is I didn't complain at the Trossard thing because of the age, because of what we bought him for, but when you're looking at the market for, you're looking at number 10s or players, experienced players in that position, he's one of those,
One of the top,
ones that are top of the
yeah.
top. Still a player that Real Madrid bought at 15. He's still a captain. He's still a Premier League. That's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be going for less than 70 million. 80 million should be in and around that. And if a team's only bidding 40 million, Arsenal shouldn't be entertaining that. The same thing with a Wanyeri. If a team comes in for Wanyeri, 50 million, 50
Yeah.
million minimum for me. Like if they're talking about 30 million, I'm not hearing it. And that's where that's another question, because then it's about, you know what I'm saying? And Arsenal should have, in both buying and selling, we should have the upper hand, because we have the assets that are valuable now, because they have got over the line, because they played in high stake games, because these guys are international players. And end of the day, if these guys want to buy them, you got to pay the price. And if you don't want to pay the price, then bro, like it's not like these guys are poor players. So yeah, man.
What about so we talk about Odegaard, yeah, but there's other players that maybe need to get a move on, the likes of Norgard, Jesus. Who else? Who else? Those are the two main guys.
Yeah, maybe Kepa.
Kepa as well.
Ben White, there's a question. You never know.
Yeah.
Mascara. You never know if there's interest in a
Mascara,
player
no.
like that. I'm not saying that they would, but if there could be interest in a player like him, you bought him for a good amount of money, 30 million. If a 60 million pound bid comes in, you got to ask the question: would that be a thing you would do? Because that's mad profit within 1 year. And I'm not saying he's irreplaceable, but not looking at him.
Yeah, not looking at those ones, but I'm talking about maybe Jesus and Norgard, because we know Jesus's deal runs out 2027, isn't it? So
I think those deals will get done. I think they're just more about, because those are like definite, probably they would want to leave and Arsenal would want to sell.
Yeah,
big wages.
Do
you know what I mean? So it's just about Arsenal. I was saying, like I saw at the top of the summer, I think David honestly said Arsenal are not going to accept just some cheap, let Jesus go for nothing type deal. Like they said, he's still a good player. He's got, like, whoever will buy him will get a good player that will be good for their team. Like, I'm pretty sure 20 to 25 million probably what Arsenal are looking for, and rightfully so. And if a team doesn't bet, players will move when teams make bids. Like we see it for any other club, like for any team, like teams will make. We say that, and I think that will happen when it happens. Like whether that happens if Arsenal sign replacements in their positions, and then it kind of forces their agents to kind of accelerate deals with the clubs, and obviously those clubs also start to bid. Who knows? But I think we'll start seeing movements sooner. It's whether there will be interest in other players that we maybe aren't expecting bids for, or whether we're expecting us to sell, or if many sales are needed for us to do the business, or if it's like those kind of fringe players that we're talking about just gonna go and then we're still gonna get the business done.
Okay, tell me about, so let's kind of like talk about
the World Cup.
Players. Huh?
The World Cup.
We'll get to the World Cup. We'll get to the World Cup after that. Two players that are actually currently at the World Cup right now for England now: Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka. There's been reports that Declan Rice is playing through pain, and Saka has not been the same Saka. Obviously, still not 100% there yet. I know you're a relaxed guy. I know you're chilled and everything, yeah. But even a relaxed man, yeah, gets concerned. Even a relaxed man gets concerned, yeah. Pause. What's your thoughts on Rice and Saka right now in terms of like the injuries and the pains that they're going through right now? Because they can't play the World Cup and then just us immediately expect them to be like playing games when the season starts.
I'm very concerned. Like I was concerned from before the World Cup started, because I knew they're gonna have to play in the World Cup because it's the World Cup. They're gonna want to play. Like there's not gonna, and obviously England probably will go far in the World Cup because they're a good team. Those players are important players for England, the same way Saliba's an important player for France, and like there's not going to be much of a pre-season before the season starts. And end of the day, they're important players for our team. So it's like there's a lot of concern, because I don't blame them playing. Like they're gonna want to play that, especially there's injuries and pains you can play through because you can play through them, but obviously you're doing more longer term damage, and who knows if they're gonna probably both need some kind of cleanup surgery or procedure just to kind of help that area, and they're definitely gonna need some rest. I don't see any of them. That's what I said. I mentioned Saliba, Rice, and Saka when I'm talking about obviously Trossard, Odegaard leaving. That you're gonna lose those players. I don't anticipate starting the season, especially the first couple of games. I don't think they should be playing because they're going to need rest first and foremost from going far in the World Cup, and they're going to need rest physically after a long season, then straight to the World Cup, and you're obviously playing through all these pains and niggles that we're hearing constantly, and we can visually see them. Like we're not trying to lose these players long term, and there's the concern there for them. Obviously, at any point you never know they might get a long term injury because they're playing injured, and two, like we're gonna need them to rest so they can get their full best. And how does that affect our season, especially in the early parts of the season? Which obviously, I've the calmness for me is that obviously winning the Premier League now means that you don't have to go through the whole season full pelt. Like you can start the season a bit more slower, and then obviously make sure you hit gear, before the turn of the year, and then obviously the second part of the season. But we need replacements for these players, or we need depth options that are very, very reliable. Obviously, I know we have maybe that in Saka's position with Madueke and Darman, and if Wanyeri stays, yeah, cool. But for Rice and for Saliba especially, like we don't have probably that level of player in the squad that can walk in and we can kind of really rely on that player. These players resting and being out for long periods of time. So I think I'm keeping a big eye on them. Innit? I'm just hoping every time I see a sprint or I see a kick or a knock, I'm just hoping, please, man, just be calm. Do you know what I mean, bro? Like I'm like when I saw Saliba sprinting yesterday with armor on, I was like, bro, just
He's
hopefully,
back in it. He's got back issues or
yeah.
something, innit?
Apparently, backhand hamstrings with Rice's hamstring and
Okay.
I think back as well or something like that, and with Saka obviously his Achilles. So boy, like I'm just watching, and obviously and the reason I was talking about segueing to the World Cup because obviously them boys are gonna be playing soon, obviously for
Yeah.
England
Mexico.
against Mexico, which is gonna be a mad game, mad atmosphere. Mexico are very very good.
Shoes, the
Mad
altitude
altitude,
as
obviously.
well.
Mad altitude, obviously. We're seeing the way Mexico's city has been, obviously, since the World Cup. They've been the whole city's been flooded, like the way the Knicks and Arsenal was with all Mexico fans. They're gonna be mad. Obviously, we've got the whole cartel theme. Who knows what kind of threats have been going
Yeah,
the England players? I'm joking, I'm joking, but you know what I mean. And obviously, it's a big game, isn't it? It's a round of 16 game. They want to get to the quarterfinals. I'm pretty sure England don't want to be getting knocked out of this place. Obviously, Rice and Saka are going to be playing. Obviously, we're gonna hope. Obviously, there's gonna be an intense game. Obviously, Mexico are a good team. Obviously, they haven't conceded a goal at the World Cup, and they have scored, I think, 2 goals at least in every game the World Cup so far. So England haven't been looking so good in defence either. So Rice is gonna be doing a job there. So there's a lot of running, a lot of covering. Hopefully, that doesn't mean any knocks. And obviously, with Saka, yeah, he hasn't looked himself. Obviously, I think he's got 2 assists in the World Cup. I do want him to score, but he hasn't looked himself, and we even see in videos off the pitch where he has that little hobble and wobble in terms of where he walks. So we know he's injured, and that's kind of known news. But can he manage? Obviously, big up Godfrey, man. Every time, can he manage? That's just what I'm looking for these games. Like, I'm wishing these men to go out, but I'm just like, please, just get through the game and no new news. And then, fam, once this World Cup is done, then we got to see what we can do, man, to let these men be parked off in some type of ice chamber.
Let's end on the World Cup though, man, because this World Cup, man, has been very
Great.
entertaining. It's been from the start, you know what I mean, to now. Some of the games have just been the flow of the games. People talk about the water breaks and stuff like that, but I just think generally the quality of the games have been high level. You know, France, Argentina, even Cap Verde, man, very impressive in this World Cup. What's your thoughts on the World Cup, man? Because I know you're a man that's been watching all them games, going to work, mash up,
bro.
mash up, bro.
Late sometimes, fam. Like,
Man's like at this desk, you know.
oh, I'm just there, finished. Yo, these kids be throwing things at my head and that, like, but I think it's been amazing, man. Obviously, I've watched probably, I think it's my 6th World Cup I've watched, and it's probably up there with my favorite, maybe. And obviously, hasn't even got to the end yet. Obviously, 2006 was I was young, but I remember that one. And obviously, 2014 World Cup was quite good. The Brazil one, I think that was a very nice World Cup. But I like this one. I think, as you said, obviously they've added more teams. They allowed more countries, and I think the bar some games, I love it. The type of football has been good, been end to end basketball stuff. We've seen a lot of good attacking play. You know, just a lot of the big players have performed and played well. You know, some couple of upsets. Like you said, a team like Cape Verde, that was one of the best games I've watched. You know, World
Bro,
Cup, one of the best games, and
see how
they're
that
very
goal.
good. They're a very good team as well. And that goal, that first equalizer, my goodness me, man! If you're
Ooh.
talking about a banger. Phew. Like there's been some finishes in this World Cup as well. Some very
Mm,
very like good goals and
mm.
you know good moments. And I think yeah, man, like is what you want. Like as I said, like I think I love that the fact that obviously yeah, like we won the Premier League and obviously yeah, the World Cup kind of takes away from the. I was thinking about that, but I think I love when there's good football and it's different when there's no football competition in summer. Summer's a bit dry, but this has been good. Like yeah, we've
Yep.
been staying up late, and we're gonna stay up late. Probably all of us in England, obviously, gonna stay up late. You know, today 1 a.m. game to watch England Mexico. If
I
you
ain't staying up for that. I'll tell you that
maybe
right
not,
now. I ain't staying
but
up for that.
I'm there, and I know everyone's there because I know they're saying the pubs are gonna be open and everything's gonna be open.
Oh, that's
Bars and that they're
mad.
allowing everything to be open
What?
today. A lot of workplaces have allowed their workplaces to start late, or you know, even
Yeah.
allow the day off. Yeah, but not mine, but I'm going late anyways. So I don't care if anyone's watching, but you should know that. But there's it's been good, as I said, and obviously we'll get into the latter stages now, where obviously some of the big teams are facing big teams. Obviously, two very good games today: Brazil, Norway.
Always.
Obviously,
Yeah.
Gabriel versus Haaland, Martinelli, Odegaard. You know, good teams there. Someone's gonna go home. Obviously, Vinny, Cunha, Neymar. They didn't play against Japan. Does he come in? And then obviously England, Mexico. The
Thing
whole
come with
nation of
Endrick as well. Endrick done a mazza as well. This
Endrick is a good player, man. Is
yeah.
that Endrick is a player that I will also take
Yeah.
if an Alvarez or Krupi isn't there? That's probably my
Yeah.
next choice in the 9 position. I
Yeah.
even forgot about him that I think I would take, and I think
Mm.
with obviously Real Madrid trying to go and get at least the reports about them trying to get Elise and stuff, which I think they probably might even I think they might get him, you know, just to say the word.
Nah, you reckon?
No, because I think I've seen some stuff about obviously he not that he wants to like he's buying nothing, but it's just like he's been there for 2-3 years. He's won the
Yeah.
one of the if Real Madrid will come in for you, they're a bigger club than the thing, and they're gonna probably come in. They'll come in with a big bid as well. That Bayern probably wouldn't necessarily refuse. And obviously, yeah, Elise is a hard player to replace because he's one of the best players in the world right now. But that's why the food chain's the food chain, man. That's the game. Um, but like yeah, like it's the Mexico games. The whole nation they're playing against Mexico. I think Mexico have only lost 2 games out of 89
Mad,
games
innit?
playing in that
Mad.
stadium. Like obviously, as I said, they haven't conceded a goal at this World Cup. They scored 2 goals in every game. England have looked a bit shaky
They've
in
not
some of the
conceded.
games. They're not conceded
Mexico,
a
no,
goal.
they conceded, bro.
I think they don't. I don't think they conceded. Maybe
What?
they might have. They might have, but last time I checked, I don't know if they conceded still. But even if they haven't, because even if they have conceded, maybe I'm saying some cat. Um, yeah, they haven't conceded
What?
still. They
Wow,
haven't
they
conceded
haven't
still.
they?
Yeah, they haven't conceded. So I knew I
That's
was.
crazy.
So this is what I'm saying. They play with high intensity from the out to all these things. Is hey, England got to be careful, man, because I think it'll definitely be their hardest game this World Cup so far. And if the
Mad.
players are not on their A game, like hey, they can be an upset today, and it won't necessarily be a mad shocker in terms of even looking at the stats and looking at history and stuff like that. So let's
Wouldn't
see
it
what
be
happens, man. It's gonna be
disappointing
good.
though if England were to go out at this stage though?
Yeah, it will be because it's not even it's round of 16. Like you want to get to at least the semis. This
Mm.
club, this nation, sorry, with the depth they should be getting there. Obviously, I know the next round would be against Brazil if Brazil win or Norway, and then you would have an Argentina in the semis if it gets to that.
Mad. That's
But that's if you want to win a World Cup, you got to face the best nations. But they shouldn't be losing to this at this stage. But they shouldn't also underestimate Mexico. England were down against Congo for a lot of that game. You know what I mean?
hey.
So
You
and
see the
it
way
wasn't
Congo
looking like they
pulled
were
out
gonna
in that
score.
game in the first half.
So
Congo pulled out, man.
yeah, Mexico play good football, man. So it's gonna be a good game. Obviously, I know you're gonna miss it. I'm gonna enjoy it. Obviously, both games I'm gonna enjoy it tonight. Obviously, I'm pretty sure we're all gonna enjoy it. But I think it will be good, man. Let's get some predictions in, obviously, just for
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
People in the chat. What's your predictions for both games? For both Brazil, Norway, or if you don't want to do score predictions, maybe just who you think will go through. And
I think Brazil will win more. That's a hard one, you know.
I think Brazil go through still, but I
Just
think
about.
I think it'll be a high scoring game.
Remember, Norway got Haaland as well, you know.
Yeah, I think Norway are a good team. They're one of those they're like the wild card underdog kind of sneak team that maybe I thought the Turkeys and
Was you
your
impressed?
Ecuador.
I wasn't
Huh?
impressed with Brazil against Japan in that first half, bro. Japan
Not in
were
the
right.
first half. In the second half, they did turn it
Yeah,
up and they started to look better. Of
yeah.
course, well they needed to, and Brazil and Japan started to look dead. Obviously, it's good that the Arsenal boys got an assist and a goal, but obviously Norway's a different team. Obviously, they're going to play a bit more attacking. They got a threat in Haaland, who obviously I guess Brazil luckily have probably the best player to face Haaland, a guy that knows him very well, a guy that's battled against him very well.
Hey, did you see his cross? Did you see Gabriel's cross?
Yeah, it was a whippers, fam. It was a whippers. So
Actually, didn't he
they,
get the 2 assists? Gabriel
Gabriel got the assist.
and then Bruno.
Obviously, Arsenal's new midfield and Bruno G got the assist as well, and then Arsenal scored. Arsenal's winger got the goal. So
Hey,
you know what I mean.
don't be cursing in that, bro.
So.
Every game is not easy for England to face. Hot take. Here's my hot take. Norway 2, Brazil 1. That's my hot take, bro.
I think it's gonna be a 3-2 win. 3-2 win for Brazil.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be a 3-2 win for England as well. I think both games are gonna be one of those. I think Mexico are gonna score against England for sure. So
England 1, Mexico 1. England win on penalties after extra time.
That's a good prediction.
That's me. That's me. I'm gonna text you if it's.
I'm just hoping for 3-2 because I'm hoping that it doesn't go extra time, so I'm not going to bed too stupid late. I can get some sleep. But if it is extra time, that would be crazy still because that means that game.
Takes me like.
You said 3 o'clock. It'll be 4:30 maybe because obviously another extra 30 minutes.
Oh yeah.
3 o'clock will be when the game will end in regulation time, innit? After 3, so that will be like 4 a.m. And if penalties are going on 4:30, you know what I mean? That means people are leaving bars at like 5 o'clock, going home straight to work. Let's just cancel. Let's just cancel. I don't know why they didn't just close all the schools, close everything for one day because it's like
one day.
Sometimes these I'm pretty sure in other countries they would have done it because it gets to like that when it is the nations game at mad time. They're gonna probably say make acceptance for stuff. But we'll see though, man.
Definitely. Big up Shay says, big up Waffle. I ain't seen you caught your stream since we became champs. We know what we are. Brother, I'm doing my pre-records, man. So flash up the notification button on, bro. Not everything, because I've been doing a lot of
World Cup
watch streams, man. It's just
it's harder to get other streams and even this show, guys. Obviously, we're sorry for it not being on a Wednesday. It might be for the next couple of weeks. It might be whenever we can because obviously the World Cup is at mad times. Obviously, life is still going on as well. But we will be there. Obviously, and we'll be back to normal schedule very, very soon. And obviously, I might even do a watch along for the England game. I might.
This guy was talking about England v Ghana. I might do a watch along.
I just couldn't, man. I couldn't. I just didn't say it. And obviously, when I'm at work here, if I don't have, sometimes I don't have access to my phone or I don't have access to set things up in it. So it's just tough. Then when I got home, 5% battery on the way home, I was like, hey, man.
Who's scoring for England? Who's scoring for England today?
I want Saka, and I think Kane will get a goal, man. I think Saka, I need him to get his account open this World Cup, and I think Kane is a different kind of Kane than he's ever been. Not just the whole England thing. I've criticized him before, but I think this season I've looked at it. He's been amazing, and I think I've seen that he's scored every type of goal this season for Bayern and England. Obviously, 5 goals so far in the World Cup. That second goal against Congo was a brazy goal, man. Like touch, and Woodoof. Like that is what that is a striker's finish. Man. I think he'll score obviously because you never know, man. This is a bit when it gets to this kind of stage, penalties are always a thing. Obviously, fam, it'd be intrigued to see. I don't think Mexico are going to come in and just play a low block. They're going to probably try back themselves to attack. So it might be an open game. Depends how England play it. See, sometimes England can be a bit slow, but yeah. And I think for Brazil, I think Vini Jr. gets a goal today. And if it goes 3-2, I think Neymar will come on and score as well because I think it's time.
Hey, if you want to catch me doing a watch along, I'll be here at 8:20 tonight for the Brazil versus Norway game. I've been doing watch alongs all this time, and none of you man have been supporting me. So you know what? Hold that, all of you man.
You guys turn on
Man,
my post
only here when it's
notifications.
Arsenal talk. Only here when it's Arsenal talk. But just remember, yeah, us man talk about football all the time and other things as well. But definitely going to be getting into the transfers and all that kind of stuff. I didn't do nothing on Trossard yet until it's proper finalized. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing some transfer streams up and coming. So make sure you got the notification bell on, people. And I've been doing streams. I reckon Harry Kane will get a double. And people, have you smashed up the likes?
Yeah, let's get to 10 likes on my stream. Let's get to 10, 20 likes
I
on
think
my
Cape's
stream.
killing it on his stream today. You know, I think he's got bare people on his stream. So make sure you smash the likes for Cape and all of them things there.
And you guys go and subscribe as well, man. We don't really ask that much.
Yeah. Make sure you subscribe as well. What is my boy Tyrone saying? He says, "Waff, I barely don't see your face during the World Cup. What do you mean? My face is up. I'm an hour. Listen, I'm gonna do an hour preview on the stream.
That's the only reason why I haven't done the watch, because I know people want to see this lovely luscious
Yeah.
face. But sometimes it's been tough for me to get some of these games going. I've been tired.
I don't do all the watch alongs though. Remember?
Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about.
Oh right, yeah. It's a multi-stream, so
I think he probably tunes in, wants to see you, and he probably clicks it and doesn't see you and probably clicks off in it.
Yeah.
Probably.
I hear it.
Because I know people probably do that for me on my channel. They'll probably be like, you know what, our Cape is not there. Even though the people that are representing are good, fan man, it's good, but it's like they want to see the star in it.
Yeah. Sometimes
I'll try for the England game today, guys. Like it's 1 a.m. I probably will, because I'm gonna watch the game. But
if you're doing a watch along, you better send me the StreamYard link, bro, and just let me just get a little.
Yeah, I will. I think I probably will still, because I'm gonna watch the game. It's just about. I'm just like, I've been enjoying watching this. Obviously, fam, this season was a grind, people. I did really want to do the whole World Cup, but like, this season was a grind. With Arsenal going to the latter stages of most competitions, doing a lot of games, and it's like watching some of this World Cup, just without not being on stream, it's been sweet still to just put my leg up, lay in bed sometimes, and just watch some football, or even sometimes have a beer. But I might be there today, because I think it will be a popping game at that time. The whole world will be locked in, especially where England will be awake at that time. So I think it might make sense still. So I'll definitely, if I do it, I'll send you the stream still.
You know what I can't love? Sorry, you know what I can't love? Argentina, yeah. The players are
racist country.
The racism thing, bro, man. It's too much for me, man. Do you know what I mean? That's what's
they're too racist, and they're so open about it, and it's so nasty, man. Like I hate that. Like, I love Messi so much, and I actually love Messi so much as a football player, and I want him to win. But it's like he comes from a nation that I really don't want to win. It's such a conflict for me, because they're nasty, man. Like, and it's like, once he retires after this World Cup, I literally wish all the bad on them, and I don't wish bad on people, because they literally, some of the things that they've said, like, even just now, like some of the things they've been saying about like speed and all these things, like, just bro, get out of it.
It's
crazy people, man.
Golden Boot. Just before we wrap up, who's winning the Golden Boot? The tournament.
I think whoever gets further out of Messi and Mbappe, and I think because Messi's on the double side, I think they're gonna have. I don't know who Argentina have. I think they have a decent game next. I know, like, I don't think they have a hard game, so I think he'll score. See, Mbappe scored yesterday, but obviously it will be Argentina versus one of Brazil, England. So I don't know. Whoever gets further out of those two, innit? But if England also go far, I think Harry Kane has a big shot. What about you? Who do you think?
I'm going Mbappe, man. Because I think France will win the World Cup, so I'm going Mbappe.
I'm going to go Messi then, just to be different. I'm going to go Messi.
Messi's going to probably, Messi's
Argentina versus Egypt next game. I think they got Egypt. I think he might get a brace in that. I think Mbappe's up by 1 right now. Was it? Yeah, he's up by 1. So yeah, Messi.
It's mad. Messi just
both of them, man. Mbappe's got 18 or 19 World Cup goals in 19 World Cup games or something like that. And Messi obviously now is on 20, or
he's got the most assists as well.
Messi got the most assists. He's the best player of all time, man. And this guy's a mad player, man. Like, he's just a crazy player from. That's just what it is. So
People, make sure you slap up the likes, guys, man. It's like, you know what? There's 18 people in the room, and Cape, listen,
I'm
tell
only
them
on six. I'm only on 6 likes.
live, bro. I'm on 6 likes as well. It's embarrassing. It's
People,
embarrassing.
man, let's hit the like button before we leave. Let's get both streams at
Yeah,
least to 10 likes, man.
let's
Let's
hit
get
the
to
like
10
button
likes,
before we leave, man.
people.
When's our next show, bro? When do you want to next week or?
Actually,
The
we'll
World
see what
Cup's
we're saying.
down now. The World Cup's
Yeah,
spinning
we'll see
down.
what we're saying midweek. If midweek we can do something, if there's any news Arsenal wise, you know, some movement or just anything
These
we can.
Sundays, you know, I do like these Sundays at the
If
moment.
not, then obviously Sunday, yeah. And if you want to move it to Sunday in general, then I'm not
Well,
opposed.
it's going to be difficult when the Premier League starts. So
Depends on the games in it, but I'm not
yeah,
opposed to having a Sunday show though, because it is
yeah,
a bit more. There's a bit. My
chill.
days are a bit more relaxed,
Yeah,
and obviously there's a bit more time in it. But depends on you. People, make sure you guys are smashing the like button. Obviously, then we'll know maybe when this next show is gonna be in. We've got about 20 people in both chats. Let's get 10 likes on both streams. Let's get the subscribe as well. Obviously, if you're on Don's channel, go over to my channel, subscribe. And if you're on my channel, go over to Don's channel and subscribe. Obviously, we're both, you know, close to, you know, Don going to 1.5. I'm going to 1.3. So let's, you know, get the subscribes going.
that's another thing anyway. Anyway,
Let's
we'll
get the
chat about
subscribes
that.
going, and obviously tune in to the next streams that we have going on. Obviously, we appreciate everyone that's been in the show today. Of course, you know, shout out to everyone, Tyrone, Catch Up, Godfrey, Jens, Shay,
Hey,
Hamid.
enough people, man. More Arsenal. More Arsenal. I think he wants a Quadra. I think there's a lot of people that want to do some work coming up, man. Football Rig, big up to Football Rig in the building. Yeah, I'm just testing out the portrait and landscape mode at the moment as well. So it's just a little test just to see how it is. But yeah, people, make sure you slap up the likes. Who's streaming now? Let me do a redirect because there's people in here right now, man. Let's see who's streaming right now. Anyone we like, Cape? Anyone we like?
Let me see.
Hanno's, but he's doing cricket bunning, man. I don't think anyone's streaming right now. Let me just have a little check for the customization. One sec. Hey, we need to link up, you know. I linked up with Craig yesterday. People, I've got a video with me and Craig. Did you see that video? Me and Craig done a little link up in it yesterday as well. We went out for a little munch and that, man. It was good. It was good. So hopefully, man like KP, it's long overdue. When I'm in the ends next time, definitely gonna have to link up, man. I'm not taking no for an answer, bro.
No, I'm just bail me, bro. I'm down, fam.
Yeah,
Whether we get content or not, or we just get something to go and bat, something to go eat.
definitely.
Obviously, I'm always down for a munch. And if you tell me you know all the good spots, fam, all the good.
I don't know about that, but
Nah, fam, I was always saying that. Do you know about
bro.
this spot? Do you know that spot? Do you know about that spot? Do you know about that spot? Well, obviously, yeah, if you come to my side, obviously, I know about good spots. So.
Yeah.
And if not, fam, Nando's never goes wrong for me.
You man and your Nando's, man. Come on, man. Come on, you're dealing with royalty here, bro. We don't.
Nandinos, yeah. Right, well, you go better eat Nando's, but Nando's is high royalty food, man. That's good. Good Chicanos. Chicanos. Do you know what I mean?
I hear it. Boy,
also, people. Obviously, wait, do you before we go? Wait, do you watch House of the Dragons? Yeah, are you that? You watch that kind of series or not?
Do you know what? I ain't been watching that. You know, I haven't been watching that.
It's
wicked.
This season.
And the two.
That's the best show out right now, like by a mile. And obviously, you don't watch Power or Raising Cain or nothing like that, right?
Nah. But you got to put me on to somebody, bro. I told you need to watch From, bro. You ain't even put that on yet. From.
Oh yeah, for a minute. You're not. You haven't even told me to watch From.
I've been telling you.
But to be fair, apart from those shows, because those shows are weekly releases, I have not watched no TV since this World Cup, bro. It's been tough to do anything else, innit? Like,
yeah.
But once it's done, obviously, because I'm gonna be on summer holiday soon, because school's out for me, so I'll have a lot of time. So I can't lie. On top of content being there and a lot of lives, probably you might see my daily lives. I think 100%.
Listen, I just want Spurs to be chatting. I really want them to.
Hello, panel and chat. Be prepared for Spurs to do a treble: Prem, FA Cup, and Carabao Cup next season. Brace yourselves.
Flipped. But yeah, just on that before we go, yeah, I think Spurs are also looking at Liao as well right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
So boy, Spurs are doing their thing, but I'm not scared of Spurs, man. I just
Worry
think the
about
game's
something.
gonna be
It'll make the North London derby more interesting than it
yeah,
has been. We've
yeah,
been dunking on you, man, for years now,
yeah,
home and away, right, wiping our sheets with your shit stadium. But now, if you want to make the game a bit more interesting, we
yeah,
can. But yeah, we'll see what happens, man. But obviously,
definitely.
two good
That's
signings for them. I
exciting.
do credit
Very good
them.
signs.
Obviously, a lot of
Not
money.
just 2, 3. They've got Hanks as well. Hanks the
Oh,
centre
Van
back.
Hecker.
Van Hecker, sorry, Van Hecker as well.
Yeah, but they'll get good. They'll get players, but honestly, they got Madison to come back on these guys. Obviously, Xavi, they got good players. Kudos,
They got
I'm
good
not
players. They
optimistic,
got
and they
players.
got a good manager. But
Yeah,
they also spend a lot of money on those players, and I think they have done what they say, just set a precedent for now.
that's
They have
pressure
to,
now. The money
yeah,
that you spent now brings
yeah,
pressure as well. It's
pressure,
not just a thing of like,
expectation,
yeah,
and they probably will get top five. I think I can back
yeah,
Spurs to do that. But now, moving forward, they're gonna have to spend this kind of money moving forward because teams are gonna be like, oh, you spent 100 million on Tonali, you spent 85 million in one window on two positions. You might spend more money on other positions now. When you want to be signing players, now this is the tax, and if they miss out on Europe and all this stuff, and they can't spend in a certain summer,
bro.
but that's their problem, man. Good
Yeah,
luck,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Aussie
yeah. All the
Ange.
best for the yeah. Big,
But
what is it? Is who we are, mate. And then on
it's,
that
it's,
note, we are
it's who
out.
we are, like.
Hold on. See, if I end the thing now, it's gonna come up with the. This is messed up, bro.
What's
You know,
gonna
it's
happen?
gonna do the World Cup. It's gonna do the World Cup
Yeah,
outro,
that's
bro.
fine, man. We end on the World Cup. It's World Cup vibes this year,
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah. We're
period.
gonna end on
If
it.
the
We're gonna
intro
end
is
on
World
it.
Cup for the next couple of ones, I'm not even
Yeah,
mad at
yeah,
it
yeah,
because the World Cup is good, man. So
yeah,
people
yeah.
enjoy, smash up the like button, subscribe.
We got
We're out.
peace.
I got the I got the I got the I got the World Cup 2026. World Cup 2026. World Cup 2020.